Alright, hey there everybody. We got something a little different for you today. We're not on the John boat, we're on my Silverado. She's due for some knock sensors, and we're going to tear into it and try to put these knock sensors in. Pretty straightforward, but for all you DIY kind of guys who see the check engine light come on for your knock sensor and it's like, oh boy, that's gonna be a lot of work, or I don't know how to do that, or wow, that's really expensive at a shop, I'm just gonna park my truck or sell it. I'm here to tell you it's not a hard job. You guys can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And we're gonna dive right in. Alright guys, so you can see 5.3 liter Vortec. We got to get those covers off. When you get this off, start tearing down into this. So let's figure out what size this thing is. Not a 10. Let's try an 8. It's an 8. Let's pop this cover off. Now you don't need fancy tools. You don't need, you know, $1,000 ratchet set. Just go down to your local Harbor Freight, Tractor Supply, wherever. Pick you up a 1/4-inch socket set for most of this. Even get you one of them combo packs. One of those that does 3/8 and 1/4 inch, and that'll be all you need. This is my set I use at work. It's made by Tecton, and I'm pretty happy with it. And God, the stuff I put on the plastic has now dried and has become sticky. And yeah, I'm using a nice fancy ratchet, but Harbor Freight and all them, they sell fancy ratchets like this. You don't have to buy something like I have. You don't need a $200 ratchet to do this job. So once you get this loosened up, just go ahead and massage this thing right on out. Massage. Give me a second, guys. Try and massage this out of here. I don't think my intake's been off in a long time, guys. Get this hose out of the way, so maybe I can get some more twisty angle on this. All right, fine. You want to loosen up that side? We'll take that side off. So remember, whatever you loosen and don't end up removing by loosening it, tighten it back up, because you'll end up with a world of problems later, and you don't want to be chasing down problems from you loosening something up. Got that one tightened. Let's get back over here, tighten this, or loosen this one off the air box. All right, loosened off the air box. So this has got some kind of crazy little plastic tab on it. Looks like it should push. Looks like it should push. Yeah, there's a little crazy gray tab. There we go. Now I can push that, and we're just going to slide this little tab right back in your mass airflow sensor plug. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it. Got a lot of work by people going on out here today. I can hear it all. So now that that's off, let's massage this. There we go. Nice and massaged out of its hole. Now, this giant intake, no. This may look big, cumbersome, but Chevrolet designed this, and it pulls cold air directly out of your fenders through the air box. This is technically a cold air intake. You can buy a K&N. You can buy an AEM, you can buy whoever else is on there. They do the exact same thing. Yes, this is a little more cumbersome, doesn't look as pretty, doesn't have K&N written on it, but it's fine. you'll be fine without it. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull this little boot off of the throttle body to get it out of the way. Now we can start undoing all of this. You guys get a good view? Let me crank you guys up just a little bit. Let you guys get a higher perspective on this. Really just dig in. Alright, so you can see all of this now. So we need to take throttle body off, take this plug off. We need to start undoing, oh man, I need split wire conduit, guys. All this split wire is just disintegrating. Serves two purposes. Split wire conduit helps protect your wires and harnesses against heat. It also helps prevent chafing. We need to replace this stuff. Take it off because it looks ugly. Get some, put it right back on. You can get colors, red, blue, green, purple, fuchsia, rainbow, I don't care. Get you some, put it on there. But let's start undoing this stuff. There's one. That's my my throttle position, throttle body sensor. Thank you. Can't talk. So let's pull the throttle body off next, and we're just going to lay it over here. So is it also an 8? It might be a 10. It looks like a 10. It's probably not a 10. Oh, it is a 10. Check that out, guys. It's a 10. So we'll get all, don't drop the nuts. I just did, now I gotta hunt it back down. No big deal. Throttle body and intake are coming off anyway, so we'll find it as we go. Normally what I'll do is when I take the nuts off and I take the part off, I'll slide the nuts, right back on the threads. That sucker was tight. Alright, we'll take that one. Now slowly, slip. Really? Hitting my water neck. What the heck? Alright, we may have to pull that as the intake lifts. We'll pull this off. But it's loose. We'll progress. Okay. So now that we've progressed, let's pull this off. So this is really easy. This is part of your evap system. You just push in the little silver piece, or white or gray, whatever color this used to be, and lift up. Real super easy. Let's pull the plug off of the alternator, since it's part of this wiring harness, and let's pull this off of here. So now this harness is done. God, that's just awful. Okay, so we're going to be getting a bunch of split wire conduit here soon for this truck. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be redoing all the split wire conduit. Yay! But let's work our way around through this top section here. Pull all this harness. Probably a 10. I've learned to realize everything's a 10. So, oh, you know what, guys? I brought something to help me. I forgot all about it. Open up my bag of mystery. There it is. A tray. Put all your nuts and bolts in it. Okay, so that one's loose. Let's go back here to these three. Is it a 10? It is a 10, so let's get a shallow. We got a 10 shallow. And before we lift this intake manifold off, we're gonna vacuum everything. But remember how these harnesses lay, guys, because this will make or break you putting this back on. You may just absolutely hate yourself putting it back on if you don't remember how it goes. Lock my ratchet in the non-flexy direction. All right. So we will undo this one and take this plate out of here. There's that bolt. This plate's out. So now you can see we got all these harnesses. We're just pretty much going to lift this up and it's going to lay out of the way. All right, nice and easy like that. Shorts are falling down, guys. Sorry about that. So this should be your knock sensor harness. So go ahead and unplug her. Just get this one unplugged right here and lay it off to the side. You'll come back to it once you pull the intake manifold. So while we're on this side, let's get all of these fuel injector harnesses undone. You can label them if you want, but if you look back at how this is, this plug here, let me rotate you guys down a little more. There you go. You can see better. All right, so this plug here, guys, will plug into here, right into your throttle body, which means all your fuel injector harnesses should fall right in order. So just undo them as you go. Put them back in as you go. Make your life easy. No reason to make this difficult for yourselves. Just make it easy. And I need a hose pick. Alright. So fuel injectors have this little gray clip. You gotta take that off. Makes it a lot easier, I think. I don't know. We'll find out. Yes. Take that off. Push in this little button right here. And then pull straight up. They'll come out. You know, you got these guys like me with these big old Sasquatch hands. And it ain't easy getting back here. You know, they didn't design this stuff for people like me. You know, you gotta have them little hands. I ain't got them. I got these big meat mitts. They take up a lot of space. Hard to get in. Then they cram in all this other stuff like heater hoses. Who needs that stuff in the way? Oh, this split wire conduit's just falling apart everywhere. Sometimes you got to give these things a little push down and push up. That's right. Push down, push up to make it a little easier on you. Get you guys back here in an angle a little bit better. So now let's get around this whole harness, around this other harness here. So it makes it easier on us. There we go. Now we can work. I'll get that later. Get this other plastic clip. Don't lose these things. You need them. Alright guys, one more fuel injector harness. But you guys get the idea. I'll get this last one out on camera and I'll knock the other side out and I'll bring you guys back to see what's going on. So let's get this last one out. Got it. All right. Fuel injector harness is out. And that harness is out. That's all my harnesses on this side. So we'll bring you guys back as soon as I get the rest of this done. Alright guys, so I got all the fuel injectors unplugged on this side. All my harnesses are undone. She's all wibbly wobbly flobbly, you know. What you're looking for. Next, we need to move over to the fuel line and this vacuum sensor, or this vacuum hose. Sorry, it's not a sensor, it's a hose. So this should just pull off. Probably not going to easily. So we'll give her a little persuasion here. See if we can free her up. So you can just grab it with a pair of pliers, give it a twist. And then maybe, if you're lucky, yeah, there we go. She's moving now. You just kind of work it off. Now, they make hose pliers. I didn't bring any. But you just work it off. Nice and easily. Now, these hoses are in pretty bad shape. I'm probably going to have to get some. Not this video, though. We might do that when I do all the split wire conduit. We've got some other things coming up on this truck. The headlights are pretty, well, they're original. The tail lights are separating, delaminating, getting water in them, and just look like absolute poopy. So we're going to be putting headlights and tail lights in this truck. Nothing special, none of the special LED. You know, I want this truck to look newer, but still have that it's your grandfather's truck when you look at it. But I want it to sound good, I want it to look good. Just get the stance just right. So it's a little bit meaner. It's a two-wheel drive truck. It's not an SS, doesn't have the 6.0 in it. But if I convince the girl, we're going to be camming it. Maybe some exhaust, some headers, and we'll get this truck spec'd out just right. So that's what's coming up, hopefully. So let's move to the next part. We've got this fuel line here. So you can't pull it off. It doesn't come off. I don't care what you do. They make a tool for it. I know, all you old heads are like, oh, where's the banjo bolt? Why didn't it screw in? Well, they did away with that years ago. And I hate it too, because I like a screw-in fuel fit, and that's what I deal with on boats, but boats are starting now to go to the press-in fittings too. So, you need one of these tools. It was like $10 at Advance. They make some other ones, they make some plastic ones that are colored, that look nice and pretty. They make this little cheap chintzy one that, you know, has two sides. I think it's 5/16 and 3/8. So you find the size that fits, slide it over it. Should be this size. Give her a push, and it's really far for me to have to reach. And then you just pull back on your fuel line. Basically what it does is it pushes down the locking tabs, puts your rag under it, catch all your fuel drippage. That way nothing's leaking all over the place. You're technically done with that tool. Don't need it no more. See what I mean? $10. You can go buy an expensive one. I'm sure they even somehow sell one of the master kits, you know, that your fancy technicians have. But I don't do this every day. I use that tool once a year maybe. I think I've used it on the Tacoma and on this Silverado now. And it does everything I need. Well, enough of me talking about it. So we're just gonna leave this rag over here. Let it keep collecting fuel. Maybe not under that one, maybe under this one. I don't know. But we pulled the vacuum line off the brake booster. We pulled that vacuum line. So what we need to do next, fellas and fellettes and gentlemen and gentle ladies, is vacuum up all the stuff that collects down there, from your squirrels, your mice, your animals, your road debris. The stuff gets there. The last thing you want is that stuff to fall into your intake, because even though a leaf is combustible, somehow it's going to cause damage and you're going to be out of motor. It just happens. Murphy's Law. Give me that back. Okay. Now that you've successfully cleaned around your intake manifold, remember, I dropped a nut down there. It's probably in the vacuum now. We'll get it out. All that's left on this is to undo the hardware. So what I have here, and you guys can't see it very well probably, but I'll throw a picture of it. Yeah, I'll throw a picture of it up with torque specs and everything here so you can see it. But this is our hardware location. I also have what you torque everything down to, and you want to torque this down. You don't want a vacuum leak, guys. Your truck will not run right. So let's start undoing these 10 bolts and working this thing out of here. Not a 10. Let's try an 8 again. It's an 8. It's an 8, guys. Don't worry. I know, American truck, metric hardware. Tell me about it. I fully understand. Okay. We'll those in. Wasn't sure if this was the hardware that would come out if you really asked it nicely, but it doesn't seem to be. At least this is easy to get to. You know, I've done a lot of work on GM 350s. I've owned a ton of them. This is my first 5.3 that I've actually had to sit down and work on. My 07 Silverado, 08 Silverado, 08. I put it in the shop because it had that first gen valve drop that was atrocious, and I dropped the cylinder. So I had a shop fix it for me. Because I traveled, didn't have time. Now, knowing what I know, I probably would have done it myself. Alright, this back one's kind of a chore, guys. Should have brought a longer 1/4" ratchet. But just like that, we're getting to it. Can I reach it better over here? Oh yeah. I can reach it better right here. Let's see, is it finger loose? Yeah, I can undo it by hand, get my old meat mitts up in there. Meat mitts in the hole, intake loose. Let's get around to this side. There's one right there. Loose. Get the next one. 10 of these guys. Remember? 7 down. Loose. Real. There we go. Couldn't get my Sasquatch hands back there. Throw my fuel rag up there. Lay that up over there. So my next one. Now, if you're one of them fancy guys and you got the Milwaukee, Ryobi, DeWalt, Air ratchets, makes it a lot faster. I got a snap-on one, but I didn't bring it because, well, my batteries are all on a project I'm doing, and I don't feel like taking everything and putting me in disarray. So, that one's loose. Now on to the last one, guys. Nope, second to last. I can see one more sneaky one back there. But it's nothing hard about this. I mean, yeah, I'm starting to sweat a little, but it's a little humid. But what was the hardest thing here? Operating the vacuum? I don't think so. Yeah, there's the last one. Fella's belt's getting a little tired here. Might have to look at getting a new belt. Drop it down in the comments. You know, hit them keyboards. Tell me, who do you like for a belt? You know, are you just run of the mill, give me the cheapest thing you got, or, you know, tried and true, I've used Daco belts and never failed, or do you like Gates belts? I don't know who else makes belts. Does Michelin make a belt? I mean, I know they make belt tires. Sounds like something they'd make, doesn't it? Leave it down in the comments. Let me know. Tell me what you guys like for a belt. So, all right. So we're at this point now. As far as I understand, everything's unhooked. No tools left in here. Harnesses up out of the way. Everybody agree? Everything look good? You see something I don't see? Tell me. No? Okay. So, put your old meat mitts down here. Does she move? Yeah, she moves. So now that we got her up, let's try to work this throttle body off. That was difficult, guys. And man, that throttle body is dirty. We're gonna clean that. Ow! Cut my thumb. The other day, I was riding on the old tippy top, and it hurts, fellas. So let's slowly work this thing out of its home. Just gotta kind of come up at a weird angle, work your evap hose out, because she's gotta come through this hole, and it's gonna catch on everything. All right, come on. Knock sensor harness. Wow, there's a lot of stuff down there. Them squirrels have been having a field day in this truck, fellas. Oh my God. Well, let me get this out and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Snake this through here. Snake that one up over here to keep it up. And up comes the intake manifold. Yeah, we had a little old blow-by too. All right. Well, let me get you guys off here and I'll show you. All right, fellas, look at this. Them squirrels have been busy on this truck. And man, it is nasty in here. There's your oil pressure switch way back there. Or oil pressure sensor, sorry. But I think this truck's probably burning a little oil. Not uncommon for an old truck. But it looks like that harness has gotten hot right there. That's your knock sensors. So I'm gonna vacuum all this up, clean this up, and I'll bring you guys back as soon as I get down to these knock sensors again. So you can see I got everything vacuumed up in here now. So we're just gonna take a little brake clean in this rag, kind of wipe it down. Then we'll probably take a scraper and clean up all the mating surfaces. And we'll work on getting those knock sensors out of that hole right there. This stuff is thick. I can tell you this has probably never been off in the 150,000 miles this truck has got on it. Probably never been off. Grab another rag. Hey, you know what? I got that one. I was using for my fuel. She's fine. A little fuel on rag ain't gonna hurt nobody. Stuff that thing down that thing and let's get to wiping. Get her nice and clean. Get her nice and clean, fellas. You don't want her looking bad. You know, dude, it's your truck. It's what you drive. But I'll be right back. Let me grab some more rags. I'm gonna stuff them down those holes, and we're gonna just clean this whole jam up. So I'll be right back. All right, guys. So we got it all covered up. So what we're gonna do is spray this thing down, get her wiped, cleaned. You know, get it looking like something again. There's a Jeep next door to me that I'd love to have. You know, my uncle had an identical Jeep, I had an identical Jeep, and my dad's always wanted one. I'd love to have it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to try to buy it. I think the guy's pretty set off on keeping it, as much as I'd love to own it. It'd be a great project. You know, it needs some paint, hasn't run in like 5 years. So it'd be a cool project to get back on the road. So just get everything nice and clean, guys. I mean, this motor should be silver. She's aluminum. Get her cleaned up. Get her looking sharp. Oh, there we go. I don't know why you weren't charging. Camera's over here telling me it's about to die, and got her plugged in and she ain't charger-lating. Let me see, guys. Are you still charging? No. Let me unplug you here for a second and plug you guys right back in. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out later. Right now, let's finish getting this thing cleaned up, guys. I did find the other bolt or other nut for the throttle body, guys. It was not in the vacuum. It actually fell right back over here. So we do have that again. I think my rag's about ragged out. Let me get another one, and I'm going to get my scraper to clean up the rest of this crud. Alright, this is a carbide scraper from Snap-on. The best scraper I have bought to date. This thing is fantastic. Highly recommend, if you want a good set of gasket scrapers, pick this carbide scraper set up. I know you don't have to buy expensive tools, but I have tried a ton of scrapers, and this one by far is my absolute favorite. No matter what I do with it, it always seems to be sharp. All right, let's give her another wipe down. And I think we've got everything, for the most part, cleaned up. We'll give it another good vacuum once we're done. Now, I mean, she's not perfect, fellas, but it's better than leaving it the way it was. So all you're doing is making it so you hate yourself later. If you ever have to get back under here, so why not just do it right the first time and be happy with it? So, we've got everything cleaned up. I'm gonna run the vacuum again, and then we're gonna pop them knock sensors.